An exodus, simply put, is a journey from a place of captivity to a land of promise, a land of freedom, and an opportunity to begin again. The Exodus House is a transitional home for men coming out of prison, addictions, and homelessness.
The Exodus House, I think, is primarily about relationships with everyone that lives here.
I moved to the west side of Anderson in 2005, and it's been through my experiences there, meeting people in the neighborhood and other people from around the city that the dream for the Exodus House started.
I met Steve-O at a class at Anderson University, and right away we both really had a similar perspective. He started talking about this house he had dreamt of over on the west side. As we kept talking, it became pretty evident that he was looking for someone to do that full time, and as far as I know, I was one of the few, if only, person that agreed to go at this with him, and from there we went on planning the house. When I came to Anderson University as a freshman, I was involved in two programs. One was a prison mentoring program, and the other was an initiative working with the homeless in Indianapolis. If I would go down to Indianapolis, talk with some of the guys, maybe hand out some food, and then we drove back to Anderson. I went to sleep in a dorm. So it was always, as you're driving back, you're just thinking, you know, how much am I really helping right now? I'm driving back, I'm, you know, in a safe environment. I had no idea, you know, where they were really going, what types of things they might be getting into. And I'd always wanted to be on that end of things too, to sort of see these things through. So there was that disconnect of, it's one thing to have an opinion on an issue, but it's another thing to live that out and then need a solution for that because you're a part of that and you have something at stake when you're living that out.
For me, the most striking aspect of the Exodus House is found in the word Exodus. And it's the reason the guys named their house after it, this process of the guys moving from where they're currently at to where they really should be, to where they were meant to be in life. You know, the Exodus House really provides a place of responsibility, hopefully find their way to the other side with God's empowerment through community, the communal life versus encouraging someone just to do it on their own. Of loving, honoring, encouraging one another, where we really find ourselves being shaped and molded into the people that we were intended to be.
Phone call from my parole officer, I ended up meeting Steve and was welcomed into the Exodus House, and I was kind of surprised at how open-armed they were.
I had trouble with alcohol, and about a year ago I lost my house. I lost just about everything. I started attending the Mercy House Church, and I found out about the Exodus House.
I emailed Steve and Isaac and noticed on the website that they had a Wednesday community dinner. Walked up the sidewalk and immediately had some type of comfortable feel with the people that were attending the community dinner.
The social gathering at community meals, I love it because people come from all sorts of backgrounds and they're just open-minded and they accept you. They don't care about your past. They're not judging you by what you've done in your past. They're just, oh, hi, how you doing?
Lord, help me now to unclutter my life, to organize myself in the direction of simplicity. Lord, teach me to listen to my heart. Teach me to welcome change instead of fearing it. I give you my discontent. I give you my rest. Help me to listen to these signs of change, of growth, and follow where they lead. Amen.
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 That's pretty good, Jack.
The Exodus House, I think, is primarily about relationships with everyone that lives here.
One of the things I really love doing while being at the Exodus House, I really look forward to the community meal. It gave me a great opportunity to meet new friends and socialize, you know.
We wanted a place that was there was not such a distinction between staff and other residents, and we wanted it to be much more even between everybody.
When I first visited, I actually went and I brought my family, my wife and kids were there, and afterwards my kids were like, so who runs the house? Like, who runs it and who lives there? And that was, to me, that was such a beautiful moment because you really couldn't tell.
It's what's made it so exciting when some of our guys get jobs because we've been living here with them and working alongside them and just supporting them in any way we can. So when we have those successes, it's 10 times better. But that also is what makes it so difficult when things don't work out. In cases of guys getting kicked out or choosing to leave, we've had a really rough time with that. But without the personal investment, without living together and doing all this stuff together, then the good times wouldn't be nearly as good. We definitely would save ourselves from having those harder times or having them be as hard, but in the long run, it wouldn't be worth it.
The good thing about living here is that if I do have a stressful day, I can come home and there's people there that are supportive of me. They want to talk about, what we went through, and that's both through different things we have set up at the house, the community meetings. We can all talk about issues we might be having, and then also just the day-to-day conversations with other people at the house where we can talk about our issues. Because of the communal aspect of the house, I mean, everyone's connected in some way or another, so it's impossible to sort of check out or compartmentalize those issues and not have that be a part of my life too.
I think the most frustrating part has been the realization over and over again every day that you can't change somebody. You can only love them and just hope and pray that they, out of that love, choose to better themselves and choose to make the right decisions. And unfortunately, just the reality of the situation is that more often than not, that decision isn't going to be made. The right decision isn't going to be made. I mean, just dealing with the statistics or the harsh reality of the statistics of the people we are working with on a daily basis and living with on a daily basis are not good. The point is to love while we're here, and the point isn't the end. The point is, like, there's a right and a wrong thing to do still. I think so often one of the biggest addictions a lot of the guys have that come here is just chaos, and this, like, it's the environment they've grown up in, it's what they've experienced most of their life. And so even though it is bad, it's what they know, and that's always more comfortable than the unknown. And so I think just one of our biggest things we do is just encourage guys to pursue freedom and to see freedom, to see what true freedom really is.
I like the morning devotions because it's open. We read scripture, and then all the reflection is open-minded. It's our opinion. It's an open forum. Your opinion's not knocked. If anything, they ask questions to better understand your viewpoint, which is real helpful. That was
Since I've been to the Exodus House, it's been really like nothing I would have expected. The camaraderie, just the feeling of almost being at home, treated like one of the family, like a brother.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you mean
that?
Yeah.
The model for the Exodus House is not a new one by any means. It's actually very old. It's based on old monastic communities and the settlement houses of the 1800s, where you have this interdependent community of people who live together, who work together, who eat together, who share one another's lives, and everybody has their own roles in that community. Everybody is held accountable the same way, and we believe very strongly that having a purpose in a loving community can change somebody's life.